so much, everyone. Welcome to Late Night with Fringe. I'm your host, Ian Gibbs, and I promise I'm not going to talk like this the whole time, but just for now. So welcome everyone. This is the first night of Late Night. We're going to be doing this every night of the Fringe, so we're going to do 7 shows, Thursday through Sunday this weekend, and then we'll be doing Thursday through Saturday next weekend, and then we have our closing night. Each night we have a different theme for the evening. This evening's theme is Joke Night. So, all of you people in the audience and you people at home, hello live streamers, by the way, if you're out there. We are going to be telling some jokes. I'll tell some jokes. If you guys have a joke, if you're thinking of one while I'm telling some, please, I'll bring the mic around and you guys can do a joke. The best joke wins a prize. So this is a competition to see who's got the best joke. If you have one, if you don't, not a big deal. I can always just throw out the prize for the best looking person, which I'd be throwing it to myself. Yeah?
You think that you are a joke?
Yes.
Like you think that if I think that I'm a joke,
I see what you're saying.
Throw that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have no problem with that. If you just want to be like, this is my joke, and then just stand until we get it,
The joke.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. That could be your contribution. Cool. So we've got some. We're gonna do some artist interviews tonight. We've got some great people this evening that I will be bringing up later. But to get us started, I will fire off a couple jokes for you. These are some that I may or may not remember. We'll see if I still got the punchline in there or not. So Forrest Gump goes up to heaven, right? Passes away, goes up to heaven. And, St. Peter's waiting there at the pearly gates for him. And, St. Peter says, oh, hi, Forrest, welcome. Really glad to have you here. You've done a great job on Earth. He's like, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And St. Peter says, well, heaven's getting kind of full, so we actually now have a test, a quiz, before you can get into heaven. And Forrest is like, that's okay. I like quizzes. I think they're real fun. And so St. Peter says, all right, so I've got some questions for you. The first question is, what 2 days of the week start with the letter T? And Forrest thinks for a minute, and he goes, oh, I know. I got this one. It's today and tomorrow. St. Peter's like, well, I mean, it's not quite what we're going for, but I see what you did there. Yeah, we'll give you that one. No problem. And St. Peter goes, okay, so the next question is, how many seconds are there in a year? And Forrest Gump thinks for a minute, and he goes, that's a little bit trickier. Oh, but I know the answer to that one. There are 12. And St. Peter's like, there's 12 seconds in a year? Really, St. Peter? Like, really, Forrest? And he's like, yes, it's clear. There's January 2nd, February 2nd. Yeah, okay. Yeah, again, not quite what I was going for, but I get you, Forrest. I understand. He's like, all right, so one more question for you, and we'll see if you can get this one. What is the name of God? And Forrest thinks for a minute, and he goes, oh, I know this one. The name of God is Andy. And St. Peter's like, how do you get Andy? What are you talking about? Well, it's clear. Andy walks with me, Andy talks with me, and he tells me I am his. And St. Peter opens up the pearly gates and says, run, Forrest, run! Thank you. Got the beat.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Is Forrest Gump dead?
In this joke, yes. In this joke, Forrest is dead, yes. So good. Keep thinking of jokes if you've got one. Here's another one for you. It's another pearly gates joke, some of my favorites. So a van full of Presbyterian ministers and their wives get in a car crash. They all die, go up to heaven. Go up to the pearly gates, St. Peter's there. He's got the book. And the first minister and his wife come up, and they say, St. Peter says, well, yes, I see I have you in the register, but we have a little bit of a problem. It's clear to me that your whole life you have loved money, you've coveted money, you've really been obsessed with money, so much so that you married a woman named Penny. So he's like, I'm sorry, I just can't let you in. So walks away. The next Presbyterian minister and his wife come up to the table, and
Don't mind me.
That's okay.
Oh, we're just getting a little. We're working on the mic. It's all right. We're getting just a little technical
You don't
work.
want the glass to get pregnant.
Of course, yes, of course. Next Presbyterian minister comes up and says, yeah, we've got another problem. I've got you here in the book. It's clear that your whole life you've loved alcohol and you've coveted alcohol, and even though you said you were against it, you really were obviously obsessed with it. So much so that you married a woman named Sherry. So I can't let you in. And the Presbyterian minister at the end of the line says, this is not going to work. We should probably get out of here, Fanny. Wow. Okay. Wow. So I'm assuming people can do a lot better than that. Does anyone here have a joke? And best joke gets a prize. Anyone got one at all?
I have another Pearly Gate story.
Okay. Well, sure. And I'm going to use the mic. You won't hear the mic, but this is for our live streamers at home. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're at the Pearly Gates, and there's two lines of men. One line says henpecked husbands, and the other line says henpecked husbands. Henpecked. So in the henpecked husbands line, there's like a lot of men in this line, and there's one man in the non-henpecked husband line. And so one of the henpecked husbands goes to the non-henpecked husband. He says, the man in the other line, "Why are you in this line and not in the line with us?" And he says, "Because my wife told me to stand in this line."
Excellent. Excellent. Everyone hear that? Great. It just wasn't funny. No, it was. It was good.
Is mic on?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. Cool. All right. So, great night. It's so fun to be at the Fringe here with you guys. I had the experience. I saw 3 shows tonight, which was really fun. Every time I go to the Fringe, it always strikes me how in these tiny little rooms, sometimes they're tiny, sometimes they're bigger, but in these tiny little rooms, incredible art is being created. It's like all these rooms of creativity, that whole church is just bursting with creativity and energy, and it's just so fun to be a part of this. Did anyone see any shows tonight? We saw, a lot of us saw shows. Awesome, great. That is wonderful. Does anyone have a particular show that they liked that they want to talk about? Sure.
As you can tell by my T-shirt,
Yes.
I like this show.
Velvet Determination, yes, by Cynthia Shaw, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. Good. Anybody else see a great show they liked? Yes. Run over here.
Saw Cloud 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth seeing. It's a heavy subject matter. It's very young people doing a show about teen suicide, and it is a great chance to see a fully realized, completely professional show done at a Fringe.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that show. That's the Cloud 9. Those are the kids from Cal Arts who are doing a show. Cool. Well, there's lots and lots of great stuff out there. Lots of great shows to come. Without further ado, we're going to get started on some interviews. My first guest coming up to the stage, her show is called Velvet Determination, which has a lot of piano and theater in it. She is currently from New York, and her show opened tonight. Please welcome to the stage, Cynthia Shaw. That was your intro music.
I love that. I love that.
So, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm really good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you had your opening night tonight.
I did.
And how did that go for you?
It actually went really, really well.
Good.
Yeah, it went really well. I felt really happy with my performance. I felt happy with the audience response. People really got it. They seem to love the show.
Good, good. And tell us what your show's about, with the description of your show.
All right. So my show is about being from Pueblo, Colorado, and sort of my journey from Pueblo to getting into graduate school at the Manhattan School of Music in New York City.
Yes.
And all of the obstacles and sort of joys and all these funny stories that happened to me along the way as an innocent 22-year-old person.
Okay.
Traveling to New York and not really knowing anything.
Gotcha.
At all.
And how long did you study piano? Like, how long did it take for you to sort of get to where you're at now with playing?
I studied piano probably for 20 years, 25 years, a long time.
Cool.
Yeah. And I still play.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes, yeah. Do you have Were there some particular gigs that you remember throughout the years of like really fun times that you had on stage playing piano and?
I mean, I was always I'm a classical pianist.
Yes.
So I always played classical music concerts.
Yes.
I used to play with, I used to accompany this group called the New Jersey Cantors Ensemble.
Okay.
And I played for them, and that was actually really, really fun. We played in some great places, and I met really great people, and we did all sorts of different kinds of music that I played for. And, you know, like at the last minute, the cantor would come to me and say, oh, can you transpose this down a third, or can you change the key, can you do these things? So I would have to do that, so it kind of kept me on edge.
Right, right.
Yeah, and then I did a lot of musical directing, so that was really fun. So I would play for shows. Yeah.
Cool. And what kind of like theater stuff were you involved in? Did you ever do? Now I saw here you did improv at UCB. Was that true? Did you go to the little UCB route?
I did.
Yeah?
I did a little UCB.
What did you do with them?
I did like intro to improv, some long form improv, and that was really fun. And then actually just this past fall, I took a sketch writing class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was really, really fun.
Cool.
And we had a teacher, so like, what's the game? His big thing was, what's the game? What's going on? What's the game? You know, and so in our stories, we'd always have to find the game, and he would help us all understand that we hadn't gotten the game. But
You have not gotten the game, and it is not working yet.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I do a
Yeah.
lot of improv as well.
Yeah.
I teach some improv and have been doing it for many, many years. Worked a little bit with UCB as far as their training stuff, and it's so fun. If
It's
you've
really fun.
Never done improv, I recommend everyone getting out there,
Oh my
taking a
God.
class, especially if you're a performer.
Yeah.
I always found that it freed me up in other aspects of my creative work, not just in improv, but in acting and all those things. It's really helpful.
Well, you can imagine, especially as a classical musician, everything is about perfection.
Right.
The right note, if you miss a note, like life is over, you know. And it's really great to take improv and know that life is not over when you miss a note.
Right, right.
You say a wrong thing or whatever, it's okay. You can always recover. You can always figure out a way to get out of it. And that's helped me a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So what was your time like in Pueblo? Did you enjoy growing up here? I mean, in
Yeah, I did.
Colorado? Yeah.
I loved Pueblo. It was great.
Yeah.
You know, it was, I don't know, I loved our house, you know, my parents and my sister and my high school friends, and we would walk all over the place. I was Golda and Fiddler on the Roof in my high school.
Were you?
I was.
Golda,
Golda,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Was that the mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Heavy role.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you were in high school.
Yeah, totally.
So I always think it's like the funniest thing because it's like the totally non-Jewish version of Fiddler on the Roof you can ever imagine you know, in Pueblo, Colorado. But yeah, it was fun. I loved that.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah.
And you were just at Galway Fringe and Capitol Fringe in D.C. Can you
Yep.
talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, so they were both very different kinds of festivals. They were just very different. So I got to perform my show. I don't know what to say about it. They were just different. In Galway, I didn't know how it would be to spend 10 days in Galway.
Yeah.
But it was really awesome. We spent a lot of time on the street, passing out flyers, talking to people, you know, trying to get people into the show, and it was really wonderful.
Yeah, and
So-
the Irish are particularly like arts supportive, typically.
They definitely are.
So I'm
They
sure they
definitely are.
came with enthusiasm and like wanting to see art because that's like
did.
part of their culture.
They did.
Nice.
And they actually, the thing that I discovered is the Irish people, obviously, like Americans, have all these different Irish accents. So
Yeah.
we would walk on the street and I'd talk to people and I'd hear this one and that one, and I've never really considered myself particularly attuned to Irish accents.
Yeah.
But I became very attuned to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was really fun. And I saw some other really amazing shows
I bet.
in our festival.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Cool. And what was the DC Fringe Festival like? I don't know much about that one.
They were spread amongst like 5 or 6 different locations. It's like a 3-week festival. It was a long festival.
Cool.
So we performed. I don't know. I was in a church parlor thing.
Wait, aren't you in the parlor right now?
I am
in
in the
this
parlor.
church?
I
Whoa,
am in the parlor.
Well.
Oh, I am in the parlor.
2
yes.
times in a church parlor.
I know.
How about that?
I know. I had a great piano there. I had a great tech guy who helped me, you know, with the show and lights and everything like that. They were very supportive.
Great.
And very helping, you know, bring people into the show. So yeah, it was really a great experience.
Cool. And we talked a little bit earlier about this Fringe experience. How has this Fringe been for you?
So what I've experienced thus far is that this Fringe is very community oriented. That last night we came and there was the opening ceremony or the opening feast or whatever it was called.
Yes, yes.
And it was
buffet
just
of
the
artists.
buffet.
Yes,
Yes, and
the
I
artist
actually
buffet.
thought there would be food, but there wasn't food. It was like, where's the food? Anyway.
Like, don't the artists get to buffet here?
I say buffet and I'm like food.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it was just so lovely. Everybody getting up, and I really felt a really community spirit about the whole festival.
Yeah.
And a kind of coming together. I love that the festival is in one location.
Yeah, that is cool.
Right, so people can just come there and stay in that one place.
Yeah.
So everybody I've met has been so friendly.
Great.
You know, when I came for my tech rehearsal, they were having a board meeting, and like there were all these people there, some kind of meeting, and I was like, oh, I love that. Like everybody's getting on the same board to support the festival
Yeah.
and make everybody feel really comfortable but supported in an artistic way. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
I think it's really nice.
So your show, is there something that you want the audience to walk away from with your show? Is there something you're trying to get across that you feel passionately about?
Okay, so when I wrote the show, it started out with my idea of a couple of stories that had happened to me when I moved to New York and these crazy things that happened to me. So I didn't really have an idea of what my show would give people at all, but I've done the show a bunch of times, and what actually people get is they feel a connection to their own personal artistic journey.
Right.
And the obstacles that are in your way and the overcoming the obstacles.
Yeah.
And that people write to me and they tell me, oh my gosh, your show reminded me of my life.
Cool.
And how, I had a woman who was like a doctor from Russia, and she like cornered me and told me, yes, your show reminded me of all these obstacles that I had to overcome in order to reach my goal.
Nice.
So I feel like my show gives people a voice or a way to express their own personal feelings about their own artistic goals.
Nice. Yeah, because I think that's the goal of a lot of theater, is to make people feel and have experience that you're having, and you have that shared moment of audience and artist.
Well, and also you give them a voice. Like I speak things and they're like, oh my God, I felt that too.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that actually I can actually talk about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really great. So her show is Velvet Determination. The next show she's having is Saturday night, tomorrow night at 4:45.
Nice.
She's in the parlor at the Pine Street Church. Please give it up for Cynthia Shaw.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome. Thank you. So does anyone know the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. That's the best I got for that. Great, so we're going to keep things... Thank you. Finally, a good one. Finally, I've got Todd to approve. One joke. All right, good. I'm making progress. I like this. It's going better and better. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up our next guest. This gentleman is doing a show, Mingalaba. It is performing in Fellowship Hall. Please welcome to the stage, James Sundquist. Hello, welcome, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. So you are from San Francisco, California.
Yes.
You live there currently?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years there. Okay, cool. Where you were originally from?
Whidbey Island, Washington.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, there's another gal who has a show called Ingenue. She's from
Yes.
San Juan's. It's the same island chain.
Oh yeah, Fiona Small.
Okay, yeah. I haven't talked to her yet, but I was really excited to hear that she's doing a show about that area because that's great.
Cool, cool. And you know some of the people. You know Evelyn, right?
Yeah.
Who's doing Freeloader?
Yes.
I saw you chatting with her. You're like, Evie, how are you? So you guys know each other through theater?
Totally.
Cool. Have you guys done festivals together?
We did. We did the San Francisco Fringe Festival this last year together, and then we met originally at the Marsh Theater, which is like the kind of preeminent solo performing school. And I took a drop-in class, and she was in that class.
Oh, nice.
And that's how we originally met.
Cool.
And she was working on the exact show she's doing now.
Awesome. Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Freeloader. Yeah, we'll have her as a guest a couple nights from now. I'm not exactly sure when, but she'll be in, and that's cool that you already have a connection. And
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody that I know.
Yeah.
And then I'm also here with Gina from the Bay Area, so we know each other. And
Hey,
those-
Gina from the Bay Area. Good to see you.
And these are the only people I know, so
Okay.
it's great that Evie's here, and yeah. Otherwise, I'm totally new here.
So all of your friends are here, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Basically. Cool. All right. I like
friends, work colleagues,
that. All wrapped into one.
people I care about.
Awesome. So tell us about your show.
Tell about my show. It's a show called Mingalaba. I made it almost exactly a year ago for the San Francisco Fringe, and performed it there. It's my second solo show, back to back, doing solo shows. This is my 4th year of doing Fringe festivals.
Nice.
And immediately after we finish this festival, I will go back to San Francisco and I will do a new solo show called Eon.
Really?
Yes, and it's been going really well for me.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I saw this show today, and it is awesome. Like,
Thanks.
I really love this show. I can't wait to see all your shows. I just happened to catch his today.
Thanks.
Really great piece. A ton of energy. How do you keep up with this show? You are moving like 100 miles an hour for at least the first half of this show. Like, how do you, I mean, it looks like a workout to me, is it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Physical workout.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. He's playing all different kinds of characters, jumping in and out, all over the place. It's really a blast. What was your sort of inspiration for this show? Did you have something that drove it, a particular personal story, or is it something that?
Yeah. So, well, I did my first show, which is called Expeditious Intent, and so that show is about the death of my best friend, and which was the other year. And so I made that show, and then I wanted to take away the friendship aspect and continue exploring these like ideas in solo. And I'm not really interested in solo performance per se. It's just more like doing like a living cartoon of characters and pastiche moments.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm making the show. I just had ideas of what I wanted to do. You know, when you have ideas and you want to make a show and then you just bury those ideas and you don't make that show. So I'm just drawing out of the trove of things that it's like I could have done, and that's what Mingalaba is.
Cool. Were there true stories within that show, like personal things that you drew out of it?
Yes.
I don't want to give too much away, but if like there is an accident scene in that show, was that something based on reality?
Spoiler.
Is that I don't think that's a spoiler. I guess
Well, I've basically never told anyone anything about the show.
Okay.
They go
all right.
see it.
All right.
But,
Well, then don't answer that question. We'll leave that.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to go there. I don't think that spoils a lot. Maybe it does, maybe not. And yeah, I was going to ask you about the title of the show, but I don't want to talk about that either because I think it makes an impact when it comes up in the show.
Oh,
and
thanks.
so I would like to leave that alone. I won't talk about that.
No, I'll talk about that.
If you like.
Who
wants to?
No, I will talk about that.
Look at that.
So my mother's lived in Myanmar for 4 straight years. Now she's just recently moved out, retired, and she's living in Berlin. And been traveling around the world for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And so Gina and I went out to Myanmar to spend time with her. And we spent a while there. And it was a really interesting experience. And so was I inspired by that? Yeah. I thought Myanmar was the best place that I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And there's really good things about it, and there's really bad things about it. And it was very compelling.
Wow. Now, have you done a lot of improv comedy?
Yeah.
Anyway, like have you studied with people in San Francisco or
No.
No.
No, so I haven't studied improv, but I have done improv, and I try to do things that make me really uncomfortable.
Okay.
So like about 10 years ago, I moved to San Francisco to work for the San Francisco Mime Troupe,
Okay.
and I was doing a sound design tech internship, and our main performer, the star of the show, Adrian Mejia, he died. He told me about a school for physical performers called Flying Actor Studio.
Yeah.
James Donlan, Leonard Pitt, John Gilkey, Bill Irwin, these like awesome people. And then he like literally just straight up died. He moved to Brooklyn and he got hit by a car and he was just dead.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy.
That is crazy.
And so we had like a performance for Adrian, and so I got an option to perform there. and so I wanted to make something that I felt like he would like. So I grabbed this other guy, Kurt Bodden, who's amazing, and we performed a fully improvised opera. And I put Kurt in a dress, which he did not want to do, and we just did an improvised opera for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
It was like, yeah, and it's like stuff that like makes me like feel like really uncomfortable. Like I don't know why I'd want to do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what I'm interested in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because me watching your show, like as an improviser, there's a lot of elements of improvisational games and things that I've seen. And again, I won't spoil anything, but there's some like sort of techniques that I've watched that I'm like, oh God, that's an improv thing, and like it's cool. So I recognized a lot of it, but I think it seems like also a lot of it is just like your mind creating like I'm gonna do this with my body and how I'm gonna portray.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah. So I've been really lucky. Like I'm happy to be here. This is my first time being out of the Bay Area, where I've been performing at Fringe festivals for the last 3 years, and now I'm here. It's just awesome, and it's new and it's exciting, and like I don't have any expectations. I'm happy if people have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to like meet people, like you being in Glasgow. I'm really interested to hear about that. I want to branch out more. I don't know a lot, but yeah. So spending through Adrian, who the guy. Awesome performer from the mime troupe.
Right.
I got connected to these physical performers at this school in San Francisco, which doesn't exist anymore. Now a variation of it is in Ashland. James Donlin runs it, called Flying Actor Studio, and so we would perform like for James or Leonard every day for like 7 hours a day. And the thing they always said is like you would come on stage and they're like, I don't even want to see you if I'm not interested. So that's what we did every single day.
Right.
And I was there for about 3 years after I finished college in theater. And so you go on stage and it's like you'd walk out from the curtain. If you weren't interesting, they'd just send you away.
Really?
And and you might have to change characters like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Like you walk around a curtain and you'd have to be different every time. Movement, presentation, it's like
Wow.
new.
Right.
And as soon as you weren't new, you were gone.
Wow.
And if you go down to Los Angeles and you work with like Gilkey at his Idiot Workshop, it's the same deal. Like it's
Well, because
it's amazing shit.
I can definitely see elements of that in your show because it moves so fast and you've got all these characters. You're in the show the whole time. Like there's not a lull moment. You're like I was just like focused on it. It's really funny, but like you seem very serious, but it's all very funny. Like some of it's so serious, it's funny. Like it was really enjoyable.
Great.
So yeah. Awesome. So, James, tell me the name of the show.
The show is called Mingalaba.
Mingalaba. I think I mispronounced it the other day. So it's Mingalaba. He's got the next show is coming up tomorrow night at 9:30. He's downstairs in the Fellowship Hall in the big space. And then after that, it's got 4 more shows. So check the schedule for more on that.
Yeah, come check it out. It's my first time being out here. I made this show last year for the San Francisco Fringe. I got Best of the San Francisco Fringe. Been very lucky. Both of my solo shows, back-to-back, 2017 to 2018, Best of the Fringe. Now I'm here. I'm happy to present material to you. It's fine if you like it, if you don't like it. I hope you will check out all the different artists at the festival. And yeah, best of luck.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Give it up for
Yeah,
James
thanks.
Sundquist. Woo-hoo. Did I see Marty here for a second? I saw her pop in for 1 second. I thought I did. Do you want to maybe check around and see if she's here?
I thought of a joke.
Did you? Oh my God. Oh, awesome. This is great. Yes, please give me your joke.
Okay. So there are 2 antennas, and they live on top of the tallest building downtown. And eventually, spending so much time together, they had a whirlwind romance and fell in love, and they decided to get married. And the ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was great.
Excellent. Oh, I wish Marty was here. She would have loved that joke. She would have loved it. No? Well, if you're ready and willing, we can bring you up next.
Like me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know anything we're talking about.
Let me tell some more jokes here first, though. I've got to get through some of these. Okay, so have you heard the horny rooster joke? Anyone? The horny rooster joke. Okay. So this guy's got a farm and he's got a bunch of hens and no rooster. He lost his rooster. All these hens are running around with no rooster, and so he asks his neighbor. He's like, "Hey, do you have a rooster? That you could, maybe loan me or I'll buy it off you or whatever." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, totally do. But you should be warned. He's a really, really horny rooster, like super horny rooster." And he's like, "That's okay. I've got a ton of hens." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, bring him over." So he brings him over, and the rooster just starts running around the chicken coop, just humping all the hens, just humping all the hens, like really fast. Like takes care of business in a very fast and efficient way. And then the rooster gets out of the pen and he starts humping all the other animals. Like the rooster just can't stop. And he's like humping all the animals and just going crazy. And the new owner of the rooster says, "You should really stop doing this. This could kill you if you keep this up." And the rooster's like, "Yeah, whatever." Goes back to humping everything. Goes to bed, wakes up the next morning, and farmer looks around. He's listening for the rooster, and he doesn't hear the rooster. And he looks out the window, and there's a bunch of vultures circling up in the sky. And so he goes out and he looks, and the rooster's laying there on the ground, just like tongue out, just laying there. And the farmer's like, "See, I told you if you keep doing this, it's gonna kill you." And the rooster looks up at him and goes, "Shh." Was that all right, Todd? Another good one? All right, you get it. I got two from Todd. I'm loving this. We were supposed to have some other guests, but since they're not here, we're just going to interview people who are here. So this gentleman is from San Diego, California. He is performing a show called Crapshoot, or Why I Voted for Trump, a Love Story. This show opened tonight. Please welcome to the stage Todd Blakesley.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Todd. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being Johnny on the spot.
Oh, I'm just so happy to just sit right in here and do whatever you need done.
Awesome.
What do you need done?
Oh, we just need to talk for a little bit,
Fine.
So you are from San Diego.
Still, yes.
Still,
Sure,
you're
yeah.
still, yes.
Native San Diego.
Are you native San Diego?
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. You have quite the resume of theater experience.
I do?
You do, yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, let's see. You were also recently at the Capitol Fringe.
I was.
In D.C.
That's true.
How did that go for you?
Well, critically, it went really well. Audiences were a struggle.
Okay.
But still, let's talk about the Fringe here. You know what I like about the Fringe here?
Tell me, please.
Is that it has all the kinds of things that, like what Cynthia was talking about as far as community goes. You've got so many different activities that draw people in and get them involved. That's what I really love about it. You have an opening ceremony.
Right.
Some Fringe festivals don't.
Uh-huh.
You have the. What else is coming up? You have all these workshops. You have panels. You have this show.
Yes. Yeah.
This show.
Yeah.
Why doesn't every Fringe have this show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Some do, but
Yeah.
some festivals do not.
Yeah, this is my first year doing this show. I know they've done it in years past. I think it is a great idea to come to a space, get to know the artists, get to know people better. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You have done a lot of stuff in San Diego. You were a festival coordinator for the Write Out Loud Twain Fest.
Co-creator with Write Out Loud. I was festival coordinator for the San Diego International Fringe Festival.
That's what I meant. Yes. So you've.
I knew that's what you meant.
Yes, of course.
I just wanted to just help you coax it out.
No, I know. I appreciate it. You could just read my card if you want.
All right. No, I think it's an error, so I think I better not. No, I'm sorry. Good.
Cool. So you've done some coordinating. You've been on both sides. You've been on the performance
Administrative
side. Administrative.
And
what do you prefer?
I love it all.
Yeah,
that's what I've been in theater for a long time, and the one thing I learned early was all of it. So that I could just flip back and forth between jobs. So I've been managing director of equity theaters. I've been artistic directors of mostly small theaters and so on.
Yeah.
I've created theater companies, and then I've performed a lot, and I've done a lot of Fringe. I've done a lot of Canadian Fringe too.
Cool.
So, yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
Is there a particular show, performance, something that stands out for you as being like not a pinnacle, but like a life-changing show? Is there one that really stands out, or are they all kind of have?
You mean that I've created?
That you've created or performed?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. You want me to tell you what that is?
Sure, please, if you like.
It's Crapshoot, Why I Voted for Trump, a love story. And it's playing here at the Boulder Fringe, and I wouldn't miss it, you know.
Awesome. Tell me about it. What's going on with that?
Well,
how would you describe it?
Well, this one started in a workshop in a solo show workshop development type of thing. And I was just trying to get some information because I'd done solo shows before, but I had a friend that has done a lot of solo shows, and he was teaching a class. And so he just says, I need you to write something. I don't care what it is, just write something. And I didn't want to write what I was actually working on at the time. So I said, oh, geez, what would I write about? Hell, I've always wondered why anybody would vote for Trump, so let me explore that.
Yeah.
So I wrote the first scene, and they go, God, that's wonderful. It's a good scene. Okay, give me another scene. And I go, okay, yeah, okay. So I brought out a second scene. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Little, you know, with a little adjustment like this. I need a third scene. I go, wait a minute. I didn't plan to write this thing.
Yeah.
I've got other things to work on.
I didn't want to write a show about Trump.
God almighty.
Hey, what am I doing?
I mean, there's plenty of people writing about Trump. Why should I throw my,
Yeah.
Waste my time with that? But all of a sudden it took hold, and it was like, it just flew from there. And so, it was really looking, it's not about Trump, it's about somebody who supported Trump and what they go through
Gotcha.
as a result of their support.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So it's sort of from their perspective.
It's all from their perspective.
All from their perspective.
Yeah.
Right, cool. And what kind of response? We were talking a little bit about the response you had today, and how did you feel about it?
The response was great. The response was, it's one of those things that, when you know how it is when you do a show or something and a couple of people say, thanks, good job, and everybody else is going by you as fast as they can, you go, well, whatever, This one, virtually everybody that saw the show, I kept trying to get away, and they kept wanting to talk about things that they saw in it and appreciated and so on. So I go, well, I must have woven something together that works.
Well, it's definitely part of the current narrative. I mean, everyone's talking about it every day, and like what's happening with, the politics and the administration, and is this president allowed to be doing the things he's doing? And, so it strikes a chord with a lot of people on both sides.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that people want to engage in the conversation about it.
And I did one in 2006. I wrote an immersive theater piece called A Patriot Act, The Trial of George W. Bush. Uh-huh. And there, when people came in, they were vetted. They either were witnesses for the prosecution or for the defense. They were either assigned to a jury, so they had all kinds of different jobs to do. And what it was bringing the public forward at that point, because Bush had 2 years left, at that time. And saying, what is it that you know about what's going on? Give us your testimony. So that actually righted the theater that did it, because so many people wanted to come forward and give testimony, either for or against. It was so maybe the timing is right on this. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it seems like it. Are you particularly politically active? Like, do you do a lot of things within politics or local? Or?
I have. I mean, the first presidential campaign I worked on was Lyndon Johnson. I was 14 years old, and I was a door-to-door precinct worker.
Wow, cool.
The last one I worked on was Obama. I was a field coordinator in Western New Hampshire for in 2008. And it's bloody hard work. I'd really rather fringe, honestly.
I think we all would, wouldn't we? Yes. Tell me a little about the Intrepid Theater. I saw you're doing some stuff with them. I know you have...
by the way, with Intrepid, Sean Yale Cox is here with his own solo show. And he's directing a show that I'm in San Diego when I come back. We're doing Titus Andronicus.
I saw that. That looks
which
really
is
cool.
Shakespeare's fringiest show. Swear to God.
Is it really?
Oh, it's an insane potboiler of blood and guts, basically.
Yeah, I remember.
And I think it was done at the time when revenge plays were really popular, and it was one of his earlier plays. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, let me fill that market, And so you have this really bizarre set of circumstances that happen. So with Sean, it should be fun.
Yeah. From what I looked at on the websites and stuff, it looks like, and you're kind of workshopping it, sort of, right? It's like not fully.
I don't know what. No. It's fully cast. It's a full run.
Gotcha.
It's called Intrepid Lab. I don't know why it's called that.
Okay.
But you can ask him when you interview him here.
Awesome.
So,
great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you want to add?
Yes, I want to add another thing.
Please.
I say get down to the mall. I'm down at the mall with my sign, and here's an important thing. If you're handing out your card, hand out the Fringe program as well, because That's what gets people excited. They go,
Great
oh,
idea.
look at all these
Great
shows
idea.
in here, and then you put your card in there so they see your show as well. But the main thing is that this bolsters anything that you do as an individual.
And for everybody else.
And for everybody else.
Gotcha. No, that is a great idea. That makes total sense because they see exactly all the other things that are going on.
I'll say one other thing.
Please do.
Cynthia Shaw's show, Velvet Determination,
Yes.
is a must-see.
Awesome.
And I saw Mingalaba tonight,
Yep.
and he does one of the, I hope I'm not, spoiler alert on this, but he does one of the most fantastic solo interpretations of Punch and Judy from the classic sense that I've ever seen. It is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Well, I'm super excited to see your show. I can't wait.
All right.
And thank you so much. Give it up for Todd Blakeson.
If you can't wait, we can do it right now.
We could. I don't know if we have time. Awesome. Give it up for the gentleman. Anybody else think of a joke? Anybody else think of a joke while we were hanging out? Yeah. You got one? Awesome. Yeah. Great. Here, pass the mic down.
Yeah, so on the way here, I came in the bar and I got hit in the head with a can of soda, and I was really concerned. But then I remembered it's a soft drink.
Melissa was like, "Don't worry, we'll talk to some people. I'm really sorry that happened. We're here to protect our artists. That's what we do. So sorry." Cool. So we had 3 jokes tonight. By order of applause, let's see what joke you enjoyed the most. Well, did you hear hers?
No, I don't think I heard it.
Wait, if you look fine.
Yes. She's,
like you're building it up.
yeah, go ahead. We'll hear it one more time. Give us yours.
Okay. So there are 2 antennas, and they lived on top of the tallest building downtown, and they got to know each other really well. They had a whirlwind romance, fell in love, and they ended up getting married. And the celebration was okay, but the reception was great.
Good. And one more time, Cynthia.
Oh, mine's a long one. At the pearly gates, there are 2 lines, one that says henpecked husbands and one that says non-henpecked husbands. And the henpecked husbands line is really long, but the non-henpecked has 1 man in it. So one of the henpecked men goes to the other man in the non-henpecked line and says, "Why are you in the non-henpecked line and not the henpecked line?" And he says, "Oh, I'm here because my wife told me to stand in this line." That's the joke.
That was a good laugh. All right, so by applause, who had the best? What was your favorite joke? Was it Cynthia's? By applause. Okay. Was it? Tell me your name again. Lenny's. Pretty good. Or was it James's? I think Lenny got that one. I think it's Lenny's joke. Yes, please. Yes, prize music. Do you have prize music? Here is your grand prize. It is a clown nose, some stickers, some tattoos, and a bouncy ball. You're very welcome. Awesome, that's so great. Well, thank you guys all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. It's really fun to hear from some artists. We have this space for another hour, so feel free and grab another drink, hang out, chill out, mingle around. Yeah, exactly. So upcoming for us, we've got some different themes coming up this week. This weekend, tomorrow night is Virgin Sacrifice. So if you bring a fringe virgin in, we want to get their stories of everywhere. It's going to be stories of everyone's first time. And that can mean anything. You can take it to mean anything, their first time. So we're going to go around and get first time stories. And I've started using the nose. I love it. The nose is on. It's on point. It's happening. So first time stories, and then we're going to hand out some tickets to the best story. Also Saturday, we've got a 1-item costume party where you bring 1 item as your costume. A clown nose, perhaps. It can be anything you make a statement with. We'll have some stuff here. If you don't have one, you can grab that. And then Sunday is Once Upon a Time night, which is a fairy tale night. And we're going to do a live improvised fairy tale, which is going to be super fun. So good. You all, of course, have programs. You know all about shows. Go see shows. Go support your artists. Again, we'll be here all week doing Late Night with Fringe. Let's give it up for our band. Craig and David is the Late Night Band. That's the show for tonight. Like I said, hang out, relax, grab another drink, and listen to a little music. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.